how to get consistent results in your marketing. And excellent question that is, something I could probably talk on for about 2 hours. But three fundamental things come to mind when I think about this. The first one is you really want to start with a strong foundation. And a strong foundation means a clear message and identity that differentiates you. That's the core, what I would say to marketing. The second thing is you really want to build a strong reputation as you go. And then the third thing is to have a strategic, holistic approach to marketing, looking at the whole system, not just these little tactics and chasing the silver bullet around. So I want to touch on each one of these really quickly. And the first one that I mentioned here was to build a strong identity and to differentiate yourself. So a good question to ask yourself when you're looking at this, when you maybe you're evaluating this, maybe you're starting out and you're still fairly small and you're trying to establish this, is asking yourself, do you talk about the problem that you help customers solve? Is that one of the main things that you talk about in your website? The other question we always look at is, do you place more emphasis on the outcome that a customer really wants versus your own qualifications? So in other words, do you focus on what the customer is? And when you can shift your messaging and your identity to really cater for what the customer wants versus what you are offering, we say that being a game changer, because it's such a refreshing thing. People are, customers have their own journey. They are going through their own thing. And so if you can relate to their journey, you can relate to what they're looking for more clearly, then we see that helps you stand out. And the second part of this is to help differentiate yourself, standing up from the competition. Most contractors sound like just every other contractor. If you look online, and I pulled up 10 websites, you would probably see 8 out of 10 that say exactly the same thing. Tell me if this sounds familiar. We BBB accredited. We're the best in insert city name. We've been in business for 30 years. We value honesty and service. What does any of that mean? Everyone says the same thing. And so differentiating yourself is really asking some hard questions of yourself, of your team, of your leadership, of your company. And it's questions that are, what makes you different than your competitor? What makes you better than your competitor? And digging into those, because a lot of times those questions can often, have some kind of surface level questions, but continue to dig into those. Like, why does that matter? If whatever the case is, if it's, this is what makes us different, why does that matter to the customer? Should they care about that? And then what is more value? How do you provide more value than a competitor? So basically you're asking yourself, why should a customer hire you over a competitor? Even though you may charge more, why should they choose you? And then once you develop that differentiation and identity, then you need to put it everywhere on your website, on your ads, to help you stand out and explain, as I said before, why that's important to them. So one of the things that we often see on websites with James Hardy is it'll say, we're James Hardy Elite Preferred, and they leave it at that. What does that mean? What does that mean for the customer? Why should they care about that? Explain that to them so they know.